Hello everyone! Another Snapchat Q&A get ready with me video. Same spiel I always give, but I don't really like to talk about the products I'm using too much because I use mostly the same products all the time and I think that gets boring and I would much rather talk to you guys. And so I always have product information listed down below if you're curious what I'm using or, you know, whatever. So yeah. I guess we can just kind of hop on into it. I've already kind of hopped on into it here. By the way, Emma, thank you so much! I'm so happy you finally commented on one of my videos and told me that you're the one that was so generous and kind to send this my way. I just wanted to be able, I know I thanked you in the comments and everything once you identified yourself, I guess, but I wanted to give you a vocal thank you as well, so thank you so much. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. We got Snapchat open here. Oh my god. Did you see that? How it said I don't have any snaps? Lies! I knew I had some. Just, I don't... You guys are crazy. You guys are crazy. Y'all are crazy. So many snaps. Okay, so that was before I asked.
Palettes or like customizable single shadows that you can make into your own palette. I love your videos so much. You're one of my favorite YouTubers ever. I'm sending you lots of hugs and lots of boops for Guerlain.
Oh, thank you! He's on his typical perch up there, so boop boop boop. I'll physically boop him for you later. So do I prefer pre-made palettes or do I prefer singles where I can make my own? I guess I feel like cost effectively I prefer palettes, and plus then a lot of like the guesswork and stuff is out of it. But at the same time, I feel like palettes are always missing like one or two colors that I would really like for them to have. So, I don't know. I guess, I mean, it depends on the palette too. Today's Get Ready With Me is all about this palette that I got in the mail. Yeah, I don't know that I don't know. I mean, some of my favorite shadows are in palettes, and then some of my favorite shadows are like my Makeup Geek shadows, which are singles. So I don't know that I can give you a real answer. I'm sorry.
If you could have your own makeup brand, what would you name it, and what products would be your main focus, like foundations, lipsticks, anything? I don't know if anybody's asked you this yet, but how do you feel about tattoos and piercings? Do they scare you? Do you have any? What are your thoughts?
Okay, first off, cosmetics line, I have no idea. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think about that because it's not like a goal in my life, but I don't know what I call it, like Cassie Cosmetics or something, like very basic. And then I would probably focus on eyeshadow and lipsticks to start because I like those. And in terms of tattoos and piercings, I don't mind them at all in the slightest. Probably like a third of my back is covered in tattoos. At one point I had 8 ear piercings. I've since taken a lot of them out, so I've got 5 now. So yeah, I don't mind those things in the slightest. I actually quite like them and find them very artistic.
Hey Cassie, so I'm from Minnesota too, and I was just wondering what some of your favorite like fun places here are. Also, love you. Bye!
Oh, thank you! Favorite fun places? I don't know. I mean, I'm not really a place person. I'm like a people person. So like, as long as I'm with my loved ones, be it friends, family, whatever, I'm having a good time, you know? I mean, definitely just like going to the different lakes. Like, I don't know that there's one in particular that I like better than others, but one place I feel like I recommend all the time when people ask me like, hey, I'm traveling to Minnesota, what should I do? I always recommend going to the Minnesota Landscape Arboretum. It's just beautiful, especially during the summer and stuff. It's just, I mean, it's a bunch of hiking trails, well, I shouldn't say hiking, walking trails, and it really is, it's just beautiful. I have gone there many times to like paint, draw, whatever, and it's a lovely time if you enjoy nature. But otherwise, Sorry, I don't really have fun places specifically. I mean, I just like Minnesota in general.
Kathy, I don't really have a question. I just wanted to let you know that I understand your struggle with all of Galileo's hair, because these two babies shed a lot.
Oh, cuties! I'm glad you understand.
Hi, I was wondering what your favorite type of dish to make is and which ones you got the most compliments on. Love you, bye.
No, thank you. So like cooking dishes, I'm assuming? That's a good question. I'm more of a baker than I am a cooker. I like baking a lot, and I guess that's what I get the most compliments on. I have a recipe for s'mores bars that people love. It's just like, think like a pan cookie, except it's like graham cracker and marshmallow fluff and chocolate, and it's freaking delightful. So I think that I have a really good recipe for red velvet cake that people love. And yeah, I mean, otherwise my cooking stuff, I don't know. I like making pasta dishes, you know, they're pretty easy. I guess that's why I like them. I don't usually like cook for people, so I don't know what dishes would necessarily get the most compliments.
Hey Cassie, I was just wondering where do you see yourself in the next 10 years and what are you most excited for about your future? I love your videos and keep doing what you're doing.
Oh, thank you, sweetie. That's such a question, isn't it? So in 10 years, I'll be 36. Okay. Galileo will be 14. I mean, I guess, okay, so there's a big difference between where I actually see myself and where I would like to see myself. I mean, ideally, at that point, I would love to be married, but I've never been the kind of person where like marriage is a priority, you know, like if it happens, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And the same goes with kids. I'm sure eventually I'll want kids. Right now, oh my god, no. Like, not, absolutely not. But like when I'm 36, at that point, you know, if I'm gonna have kids, I hope I have them at that point. You know, I'm getting up there for having kids. So hopefully that, you know, hopefully just be successful in whatever career is happening for me at that point in time. I would love to be making art and doing art as some sort of a thing, whether it just be, you know, showing at art fairs or, you know, whatever. I feel like typical goals, happy, healthy, family and friends are happy and healthy, got my own place. I'm a very simplistic person. I don't have like, I want to rule the world type aspirations, you know?
Hi Cassie!
Hi!
My question is, have you ever considered getting another cat other than just Galileo? And if you did, what would you name it? And I also just wanted to say that I love you, and I love your videos, and I love Galileo too. You're amazing.
Oh, thank you! And I loved the cat pile that you made. I'll zoom you guys in a little bit here. I get that question a lot about getting another cat, and I would like to, but that is another financial thing, you know? Getting a cat costs money, you know, and then having to fix them, and also, you know, just food, that sort of, you know, just like whatever. I mean, it wouldn't be like a huge investment since I have, you know, toys and everything already, but it is something, you can't just like get a pet and not think about the finances. So there's that. And then also with Galileo, he's always been kind of a loner cat. Even when he was first born and was living with the rest of his litter, so all of his brothers and sisters, he's always been very solitary. Like whenever I would go to see him, he wouldn't be like playing with his brothers and sisters. He would be hiding somewhere. So I get very nervous thinking about getting another cat, you know. would Galileo like having another cat around? I mean, if they did get along, I think that would be great, but there's always the chance that they're not going to, and that terrifies me. I've watched probably every single episode ever created of My Cat from Hell, so I see what happens when cats don't like each other, and it's not pretty. And not to mention, I mean, just being someone who lives in a one-bedroom apartment most of the time, you know, it's not like a ton of room. And I'm not saying two cats couldn't be happy in the size of apartments that I've had, but I would want them to have a little bit more room to kind of separate themselves when they need it. But if I did get another cat, I do know what I would name it. I would name it Figaro. Galileo Figaro, Magnifico. Yes, I absolutely would. I mean, that song from Queen was not the reason that I named Galileo, but I feel like I would have to. I feel like it would be a crime to pass up that kind of an opportunity, you know, especially considering how big of a Queen fan I am, so. Yeah, there you go. Ugh, I've been loving this blush, you guys. I always passed over Dollface from Tarte. Like, I was always just like, meh. It just looks like a blush. But this, it's a blush. And it's so pretty. Oh, so pretty.
Hey Cassie, as a derma sufferer myself, I was just wondering, how's those artificial nails doing for you? They worked wonders for me. I love you. Hope you're having a wonderful day.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so sorry to hear that you also go through dermatillomania. It's been rough for me recently, even wearing like 3/4 length sleeves on cameras, you know, I'm starting to get the comments where, oh my god, what is wrong with your arms? And I'm just like, but these nails, so if you have missed many videos, I feel like I've had these on for quite a few videos now, but I got these nails. These are LCN gel nails. They're not something that like all salons do, but I found one that does them, and oh man, was it ever a process, and a painful process at that. I mean, they basically, these nails are now my nails. You know, like it's not just like they glue them on. They like file off your nail so that it's kind of like rough and it's got some like grabby bits, so it's kind of like Velcro, and then they put the actual like liquid on top, and then that fuses when it hardens and everything. There's an actual chemical process that goes on, and your fingers burn so much more than you could ever imagine. Like, my nail tech was telling me that, you know, it's gonna be warm and you're gonna feel it and whatever, you know. I don't remember exactly what she said, but she made it clear that it was not going to feel pleasant, but she also was trying not to scare me. And so when I first put my nails under the light, I was like, oh, whatever, it's no big deal. And like, I feel like I have a decent pain tolerance. So I was like, whatever, it's probably gonna be fine. And then my nails were under there for like, after 10 seconds. And I thought, I don't know what I thought, except for pain, please kill me now, make it end. I've only got 2 nails done. I've got 8 more to go. Good lord. So it's not fun, and I have to get them like filled and everything. My nails grow pretty fast. You can see that they're already starting to separate from my cuticle quite a bit where my nails have grown. 'Tis the time, you guys, for this palette. So here's the Morphe 35O palette. It really is very pretty. I feel like I have most of these colors already, but you know, we're gonna go with it. I clearly haven't even touched these yet. I didn't even think about what kind of a look I'm going for. Oh god. See, now this is the thing with palettes like this. It's so much. Like, how do you choose? I personally don't know, and I haven't gotten to the point yet where I know. But I'm gonna start off safe. I know some people are gonna be like, wow, Cassie, so boring of you. Yeah, well, that's just my nature. I'm gonna go in with this shade in the bottom left corner. That's not picking anything up. It's like a bronzy green color. I mean, it feels like an eyeshadow. It doesn't feel like exceptionally soft or buttery or anything. But yeah, so these nails, they are great. They take getting used to, and I'm definitely still getting used to them even now, what, like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks in. So apparently I'm gonna have to use the finger method for these shadows, or at least for this one. Oh my. When and how did I do that? Can we get the playback, please? My goodness. That was a pretty big blunder for me to not even notice. But, so, yeah, they're really cumbersome. Like, opening things, like my eyebrow palette, I have to use tweezers to open it because I can't get these things in there because they are so thick. And I'm glad they're thick. I know quite a few people have commented, like, you need to go see a new nail tech. They look awful. They're so thick. They look so fake. You know, I want them to be thick. And that's why I got the LCN nails. Because I don't want to be able to pick. And for the most part, I can't pick. I can if I have like a major whitehead that's like ready to burst, you know, like the kind where if you just touch it, it's gonna onto the mirror. I can get those real quick and easy. But like the ones that like really weren't like real pimples, you know, just like a bump under the skin, I can't. You know, I can't do the mindless picking anymore. So I hate that. But like, I'm very happy that I can't, you know? Like, that's kind of the whole point. Especially with how freaking expensive these things are. They're very expensive. And you have to get them done every 2 weeks, which, it's gonna add up, but it's gonna be worth it. So far, it definitely has been. So, I'm glad it works for you too.
Hi Cassie, I love your videos, and my question to you is, what was your most embarrassing moment?
My most embarrassing moment. I'm gonna go in with this greenish, I shouldn't even say greenish, it's kind of like a baby puke kind of a color. I'm gonna go in with that. I'm gonna see how that does. You know, I don't know that I mean, I'm sure I've had embarrassing moments. I shouldn't even say I'm sure I've had plenty of embarrassing moments. But I don't really remember them very well because, you know, yeah, they're embarrassing at the time, but like, I get over it and like, okay, so there is quite a bit of fallout, it seems. I don't know, I guess for me, I don't let embarrassing moments get to me very much. Like, they happen and whatever, and, you know, life will go on. I'm gonna deepen things up with whatever this color is. It looks like the mattes are much better on a brush, so that's good. But I do remember at one point, I think it was my freshman year of college, well, there was this kid. He was cute. I'm not gonna deny that. He was also a major tool. Just like womanizer and just, ugh, not my type. But before I knew those things, I just knew of him. He lived in the same dorm as me, blah, blah, blah. And I was in the drawing studio. And at that point, I'm just gonna take this color here and blend everything out. Yeah, at this point, I don't think I had declared my art major yet, but I was definitely into my art. It was like my salvation because at that point, I was obviously doing the dental thing. I shouldn't say obviously. If you've watched past Q&As and stuff, you would know. I did dental stuff my first 3 years of college, but very, very pretty and blendable. I'll give it that much credit. But, yeah, so I was doing the science thing, and like, I liked the science thing, but I also needed a way to like keep my sanity. So I was like definitely thinking about being an art major, because at least that way I had an excuse to take art classes. And so I was in a drawing class, and I was one of the few people that like cared about the drawing class, that were in the drawing class. I think a lot of other people were just in it to fulfill a requirement. But so I was there very late in the studio. It was probably like 2 in the morning. I wouldn't doubt that for a second. And so I thought I was very alone because usually I was very alone at that point of the night, especially because I'm pretty sure it was like a Friday or Saturday, so you know, most people were out partying or whatever, and I was in the drawing studio drawing my still life. So I would bring my little like portable stereo system or whatever that I could plug my iPod into. I wish they had a not quite so white shade, but I'm gonna go in with this. But so, like I said, I thought I was alone, so I was playing my music. And what other music would I want to play other than the To Be a Master soundtrack? Like, I don't know. Who do you think I am? So I was jamming out to the guitar solo in one of the songs, okay? The air guitar was real, and then the lyrics were real. I mean, I still know the lyrics. I can still sing the Pokey rap. Electro, Diglett, Nidoran, Mankey, Venusaur, Rattata, Fearow, Pidgey, Seaking, Jolteon, Dragonite, Ghastly, Ponyta, Vaporeon, Poliwrath, Butterfree! I'm not gonna keep going. It's far too embarrassing. But so, I mean, basically, he walked in on me. And he was watching me for, I mean, this kid was kind of a creep. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Because there was also another moment where I'm going with this nice glittery champagne here. So he ended up my junior year being my neighbor in the apartments I was living in. He lived like right across the hall from me. Take 2 steps out my front door and I'm at his front door. And we were on the 2nd floor, and so we each had balconies, decks, whatever. I mean, they were very tiny, very skinny. You could hardly fit a chair out there, and it was like you could fit 1 chair out there. But so our balconies, like, I'm trying to think. Here's the hallway, here's his apartment, here's my apartment. Our balconies were right here. So they were right next to each other, and right here there was one of those like overhang things, like to cover the entrance downstairs. So I hope I explained that all right, so that you guys can like get a visual or whatever. But let me go in with this kind of chocolatey looking color here. Basically one night, you know, I don't think it matters what day of the week it was, a weeknight, whatever. I was hanging out with one of my roommates, and we were in the living room, which is what the balcony was obviously connected to. I shouldn't say obviously, I'm sorry. My living room was connected to the balcony. And so I was hanging out, and my roommate and I were watching a movie. And you know, there really isn't much else to the story other than, at least at this point, my roommate and I were watching a movie in the living room together. Well, I think I'm gonna go in with this color because why not, right? Why not? I think it was later that weekend then, or at the end of the week, whatever. My roommate and I were hanging out at his apartment with him and his roommates. And I don't remember what we were doing, it doesn't matter, but either way, I don't remember how exactly it got brought up, but he said something about like, oh yeah, I saw you and your roommate were watching Hercules the other night, you know, on Tuesday or whatever. And we were like, what? What do you mean you saw us? Like, all of these colors are the same, you guys. I don't know. I guess I'll do this one. Why not? And he was like, yeah, you guys were watching Hercules, blah, blah, blah. And we were like, okay, but why do you say you saw us, you know? Like, maybe you mean you heard us, you know? Like, how drunk are you, buddy? I think we were probably playing beer pong or something. And because, you know, she and I were obviously singing to her. You don't watch Hercules and not sing along with the songs, you know? And he was like, no, I saw you guys. And we were like, that's majorly creepy. What are you talking about? Like, were you standing like from far away outside and so you could kind of see in or something? Like, I don't understand. He was like, well, no, like, Cassie, I remember you were on this spot on this couch, and Abby, you were on that spot on that couch. And we were like, oh my, like, where were you? What were you doing? How? What? And he was like, yeah, I climbed over from our balcony, like over the overhang and onto you guys' balcony, and I was watching you guys through your window from your balcony. What? We were like, that is the creepiest thing I've ever heard in my life. How long were you out there? He was like, I don't know, a while. What? That is so creepy that someone was literally like 5 feet away from me on my balcony just like watching. Oh, that guy. Oh, that guy. What a creeposaurus, am I right? Like, just the worst. So, I have many stories about them. They were good neighbors. Kind of weird, but they were fun. Okay, so I mean, is this like good enough? I feel like in the light and everything on camera, it like looks not blended. In real life it does. Go with me, guys, go with me. In real life it looks fine. Now I'm just like thinking about this kid. I have so many creepy stories about him. This is not gonna, if you want like a story time video or something, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm neglecting everyone's snaps because now I'm thinking about all these stories. If you want to hear about how he followed me home one day, if you want to hear about just more stories about him and that apartment, let me know. I can do a story time video, but I'm gonna go ahead and look at your pretty faces.
What are your favorite YouTubers to watch? And also, what are your favorite types of videos to watch on YouTube?
Good question. I actually feel like I answered quite a few of these questions in my last live chat, so I mean, I can still answer them again for you here today. I'm just putting it out there. If you want to go watch that, that video is available to watch, and you can hear me answer many questions like these. But at the moment, I feel like my favorite YouTubers change so much, like from month to month, season to season. But right now, I would say the top people that I get like excited when I see they have uploaded a new video are Mommy Tang. What's up, Tang Gang? Yes, I am a Tang Ganger. And I love Ethan and Ela. I also love their main channel, H3H3 Productions. I love Dr. Pimple Popper. I still love Trisha, Shane, and Drew. I love a lot of people. Right now I'm not like, I mean, I still watch beauty videos and I still like beauty videos, don't get me wrong. But it's not the majority of videos that I watch, I feel like. I also watch Philip DeFranco. He just did a reaction video to one of his old videos, and I was laughing my butt off. It was really funny. I would love to see his wife, Lindsay, react to one of his old videos. He's a completely different person. I mean, we all are. He was watching a video of himself from like 10 years ago, I think. I think he said it was from 2007. So 9 years, whatever. But I was a very different person in 2007 as well. I feel like off the top of my head, that's the best answer I can give you. But I feel like my favorite channels typically are like news show, kind of comedy, satire, maybe, I guess? I don't know. I feel like since making YouTube my job and it's like beauty, cosmetics, you know, I want to break from that when I'm relaxing and watching YouTube. So, I think that's about it. Sorry, I wish I could further answer you. I just wanted to finish my brows there.
Cassie, I was just wondering what age or around what time you started realizing you were really into makeup.
Iowa! Yay! My neighbor to the south! There's a video from a long time ago here on my channel. It was back when I was doing a beauty competition here on YouTube that Jen Loves Reviews was hosting. / she invented. And I think it actually might have been one of the final challenge videos, but it was a tag video that she had, I think Jen came up with it herself, but it was called the My Makeup and Me tag. And so I answered a bunch of questions about like when I started getting into makeup and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, with my makeup, I was like a strictly like, I have my one little cosmetics bag, it's got my one eyeshadow quad, it's got my one foundation, my one concealer, you know, that sort of stuff. I hardly had any lipsticks. I mean, I maybe had like 2 or 3 tinted lip balms, but that was me like through college, you know? I feel like in college, that's when I started kind of getting, like the very end of college, sorry. So my undergrad, I would say like my senior year is when I started trying like getting into different lipsticks and stuff. I mean, like my very first like real lipstick, like outside of dance competitions, lipsticks was a bright orange lipstick from Makeup Forever. So I was definitely go big or go home when I like started getting into makeup. But so that's when I started trying out with lipsticks and stuff. And then I would say it was probably the summer after undergrad and like the fall going into my very first year of grad school. I mean, that's when I kind of started discovering more of the beauty community here on YouTube. Oops. And that's when I started, you know, trying out stuff for myself. You know, having maybe 2 foundations at once instead of just one. Or maybe having 5 eyeshadow palettes instead of just one eyeshadow quad. I mean, it really wasn't that long ago. It was pretty recent. I mean, so maybe like 3 years ago, 4 years ago now. So.
Hey Cassie, so I was just wondering what your favorite superhero is. I personally love Iron Man. Love you.
Tony Stark is a hottie. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. Hottie. But I would say my favorite superhero, did someone ask me this in my last Ready With Me? It's okay, I don't expect for everyone to watch every single video of mine. But my favorite superhero isn't like a traditional Marvel Comics superhero, you know? Like Iron Man, Spider-Man, Superman, whatever. I personally love Nightcrawler from the X-Men. I shouldn't even say I think. The X-Men are by far my favorite, like, superhero group / like superhero comic, superhero show, etc. And Nightcrawler, I have a soft spot in my heart for him. He's just so delightful and quirky and weird, and yeah, I always liked him.
If you were to have one makeup product for the rest of your life, what would it be? By the way, I love you.
No, thank you. And that's a mean question. How dare you? One makeup product? Just one? I guess I would probably, oh, this kills me. I would probably pick like a dark brown or like a brown mascara, because that way I could use it as a mascara and I could also fill in my brows with it. But like at the same time, that question is mean. But I still appreciate you. Thank you for asking me. Ugh. I mean, how do you pick? I mean, there are plenty of like multi-purpose products. I could also pick like a neutral eyeshadow quad so I could do my brows and my eyeshadow, but I'd rather wear mascara than eyeshadow. So, yeah. Alright, I think we have time for one last question here.
Hello Cassie, I love you. Do you have any plans when it comes to Turkey?
Do I have any plans to go to Turkey? I mean, not at the moment, but I'd love to someday.
Hi Cassie, I just want to say I love all your videos, and my question is, who is your favorite superhero?
I just answered that, so.
Cassie, so this is a very important question. Okay. I recently just got bangs, a la 80s.
They
Would you
look
ever get
great.
bangs? Why not?
You know, I would, and I have before. Ooh, this has gotten very messy. I've actually had a lot of different hairstyles in the past. I feel like since starting YouTube, I've had like the same one. I feel like a lot of people, and not like you necessarily, and it's not even a bad thing if you did, but a lot of, crap, I shouldn't be talking. A lot of people assume that I'm not very experimental with my hair, which, I mean, I'm really not anymore. But I've had like 1-inch pixie cuts before. I've had straight across bangs, I've done side swoop bangs, and you know, I feel like I'm much more experimental with that sort of thing in the winter, because in the summer when I like get sweaty and my hair even like touches that sweat a little bit, it just gets all sorts of like curly, like I get a lot of ringlet type curls up in here. I mean, you can see a little bit of the wave going on, but so I feel like in the summer I just stray away from having hair in my face in general. But during the winter I don't mind, or I didn't used to mind experimenting with that sort of a thing. So anyways, here's the makeup look. Pretty simple today, but you know, using that Morphe 35O palette. I'll definitely have to experiment more with it to kind of like figure out my real thoughts, but there's my initial impression anyways. There's a little close-up on the eyes. Like I said, not anything crazy, just my typical look, but my mascara looks good. Hey, hey. I love this color from the balm. Oh, I love these liquid lipsticks. So yeah, you guys, that is gonna do it for me. My memory card is about to run out here, but thank you guys so much for sending me in snaps. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'm so happy to have you here. Look forward to more of these types of videos in the future. If your snap didn't get answered, I'm so sorry I couldn't get to everybody, but thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for asking me questions. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do go ahead and give me a thumbs up down below. I'd really appreciate it, and you can also subscribe if you're new here. Hey, hi, hello, how are ya? I would love to have you here as a part of my YouTube family. So as always, I just hope you guys are all doing well, and until next time, just stay well until then. Bye. Woo, woo, 3 seconds left. Bam, I did so good.
I went to a club, right?